So open your book up to page 74, and we're going to learn about industries and jobs. Starting off, different places have different natural resources, and we have learned that through the 3 grand divisions of Tennessee, there are different parts of Tennessee that have different natural resources. This is also true with the rest of the world. Different places have different resources, and that's why we need to ship them across the world, we need to transport them, and we need to do all of that stuff. So different places also have different human features. So human features are things that, well, humans built. These are things like airports, railroad tracks, ports, and workers. Now these human features help us get all of the things done that we need to get done. A location's natural features and human features influence the kinds of industries and jobs that develop. Why? Because people use their environment to meet their needs for industry and jobs. Go ahead and underline that because that sounds like what this page is mostly about. So if you have an area where there is, I keep using this example, maple syrup, so you have a lot of maple trees, that would be a good place to have a syrup factory or whatever you would call it, where they would take the maple trees, they would tap them for the syrup, and then they would bottle the syrup and sell it. That would be a great place to have a maple syrup factory. A non-great place to have that would be where there are no maple trees. That wouldn't be very wise. So that's a great example. Let's look at some other examples. Many factories developed along Tennessee's major rivers. Being close to a river makes it easier to receive natural resources and to ship finished goods. So remember, if you are by a river, you are better able to transport things. So let's go ahead and draw an arrow to our river. And let's write easy transport. So you are easily able to transport things when you are close to a river. And rivers make good transportation things because ships are able to carry a lot more than semi-trucks. Okay, coal mining industries developed in East Tennessee where most coal deposits are located. So you'll never guess, where there's coal, there's going to be a coal industry. So you need to have those resources and able to complete the job you need to complete. Medical and technology industries often develop in cities where it is easier to find workers. So it's going to be hard to have a factory without workers to work in that factory. Well, nowadays we do have robots to do a lot of work. However, there are some things that still can't be replaced by human workers. Areas where many people live near each other are called urban. So where many people live near each other, that is urban. Okay, agriculture develops where there is abundant fertile land and a water source. Areas with a lot of land and not too many people are called rural. It's a hard word to say. And we know that agriculture is basically farming, different types of farming. We're going to go ahead and write that way we remember. So there are lots of different ways that industries and jobs can be created in different parts of Tennessee, in different parts of the United States, and in different parts of the world. And you may have to change some of those resources, like you may have to cut trees down in order to make the natural resources so that you can have the factories. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this inference. Remember, inference is not something that we've totally read about, but we may be able to use our brain and our prior knowledge to answer the questions. How has East Tennessee's geography helped it develop a big tourism industry? Well, we need to think to ourselves, this has a hidden question. Where is East Tennessee? Well, East Tennessee would be this way. So I know that is the East Grand Division. And then it says its geography. Well, I remember from what I learned that East Tennessee's geography is where there are mountains. So there's my hidden question inside my question. What is East Tennessee's geography like? So now that I remember that it's mountains, I can answer the question, How has East Tennessee's mountains or geography helped it develop a big tourism industry? Remember, tourism is when people come to visit. So go ahead and answer that. And then for number 2, list 3 examples of tourism-related businesses that you would expect to find here. Then explain how each of those businesses relies on the environment for success. So there are a lot of different things that you could put for this answer. We know that since East Tennessee has mountains, there are certain things that you can do at the mountains. If you have ever been to Gatlinburg before, you may know some of the things that you can do. So go ahead and start thinking. We're going to do one together, but I want you to think first. Think, what can you do where there are mountains? What else is over there? So I want you to go ahead and write one answer down. We'll do one together as well. So you may have thought of the same one I did, but at the bottom I'm going to go ahead and write my example, and you can write, you can keep writing yours as you are waiting. If my example is the same as yours, that's fine. You'll just come up with a different one. Okay, so you could put that there is camping. A lot of camping goes on there. And how the businesses uses its environment, well, there are lots of different ways. So it relies on the environment for, well, you need to have scenery. So it needs to use those natural resources and the beautiful scenery that it has there in order to attract the tourists to it. So scenery attracts campers. And go ahead and make sure you answer the other two as well.